Hello, January 1st, 2012. Happy New Year from your hapipadi. This time of the year brings sentiments to many people of gratitude and sentiments of the fleetingness of time, and also probably, in fact, sentiments of hope and grateful expectations. So it is really time to kind of really spend some moment to review the year that has just passed, 2011, how the grace of God has worked in our lives in the past year, how we engaged that grace, the highlights that have happened, the resolutions that took place, uh, the falls along the way, and how we picked ourselves up from them, the struggles that we probably never understood why we had to struggle, why we had them, but also now probably hopefully as you come to 2012, you can look back and probably have a better grasp or understanding of some of those struggles and why we had to go through some of those struggles. The perhaps even the connectedness of the events of our lives and the relationship of the small events of life to the big picture of who we are and what our life is all about. So it's good to kind of look at some of those things as we have just said goodbye to 2011, and also at the same time to look forward to 2012 and what 2012 may bring. What are the things that we want to be able to see or look forward to in this year? Um, Perhaps one way to look at it is, according to the Mayan calendar, 2012 is the year when everything just comes to an end. Yes. Don't ask me. Uh, I still think, believe in the gospel in the scriptures when that Jesus says we don't know the day nor the hour. Only the Father knows that. So I don't know if the Mayans are correct or not. That's not what I am here for. But it is good to think about it. I mean, together with the Mayans, if this is our final year on Earth, or if this is the where it all comes to an end, if this is the parousia, as we say it in our Catholic language, what are we going to do? How are we going to spend this final year? That's a good thing to think about. um, some people tend to say, in my dialogue and conversations with people, two emerging attitudes are available, I think, for most people. One is that they're gonna try to make this year the best year ever. They're gonna make it really good. They're gonna be their best. They're gonna be more generous. They're gonna be more attentive to their relationships, to be more caring, to be more forgiving. All those amazing, wonderful stuff that the Catholic faith and the gospel values promote and proclaim. There's also another group that probably will say, well, this is the final year, let's party hard, let's do everything that we can, and finish off, dancing and singing and doing all these crazy things that we want to do, and, do it all. It's kind of like the bucket list. This year I'm going to be climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, and I will be swimming the Pacific Ocean, I'll be bungee jumping and skydiving and, all that crazy stuff. That's another approach. But if you ask me, I think it might be a good idea in 2012, if this is my final year, to perhaps really be attentive to how the Lord, you know, um, calls me so that my life will have a meaning. In other words, I will think seriously about how I want my life to be known by God. I think about very seriously about what do I want God to see about me. Another way of putting it is, how can I put a smile on God's face so that as we come to this final year of human life, of existence, the Lord will look at me and say, I like what I'm seeing with that one. That's probably what I'm gonna go for. November 1st is also, of course, in the Catholic calendar, the feast of the solemnity of Mary, Mother of God, Theotokos, or the God bearer. That's the feast of Mary as the God bearer. And in the text of this weekend, which is true for all the cycles of the liturgical calendar. Um, we hear a very beautiful line about Mary, that Mary has remembered all these things and kept them all in her heart. So she pondered, reflected on all of the events that she has seen about her son Jesus and kept them all in her heart. I think there is something that beautiful that we can get out of that. The sense of attentiveness to the even the smallest things, even the smallest events, to be attentive to how God is calling us forth in the everyday moment after moment, so that our paths will be defined by cooperating with the plan of God for us. I think that's beautiful. That's exactly what Mary did. Mary could have totally ignored the angel and said, "Winged creature, go back to your own outer space," or something like that. I don't know what she could have said if she were just giving the angel some kind of an attitude. But Mary listened to the message of the angel that came from God, and her response was, "Behold, I am the handmaid of the Lord. Be it done unto me according to your word." So basically, Mary had the faith. And it's that faith that allowed her to enter into that deep cooperation, that deep participation in the plan of God. That is why it is so beautiful what Mary did. And that's why we honor her and emulate her for that particular disposition she had with the message of the angel. That she was very open in faith. She did not doubt. She immediately said, "Well, okay, I'm the handmaid of the Lord. I am at the disposal of the plan of God." So that is a beautiful way of looking at this year, that we make ourselves at the disposal of the plan of God. And 2012 will definitely be an amazing, blessed year if we did that. The other thing that we can learn from Mary is her love of Jesus, her love for Jesus, her own son. We might ask the question, so did Mary love Jesus more because Jesus was prophesied to be the Lord of Lords, and his name will be great. He will be the Savior, the Anointed One. He is the Messiah. Did Mary love Jesus more because of all those things? And my answer, if I speculate about this and reflect on it, is that Mary could not have loved Jesus more because she already loved him to the full just by being his mother, just by being the bearer of Jesus. She already loved him fully. If Jesus was not the great preacher and the Lord, the Savior, the Redeemer, Mary would still have loved Jesus as perfectly as she did. So it is good to know that that is a great image for us to think about, to emulate Mary, to follow the path that Mary took in her relationship with Jesus, that we can love Jesus the way Mary did. Because in many ways, we too are the bearers of Jesus. When we receive Jesus through the Eucharist, in the Eucharist, we become bearers of Jesus. And Jesus is also with us in the same way, pretty much that Mary was the bearer of Jesus as her son. So in this year 2012, I think the prayer that I have for everybody is to have the same faith that Mary had in cooperating with the love of God, with the plan of God for our salvation, and also to have that love that Mary has for her son Jesus, to love Jesus in the most perfect and beautiful way possible by keeping him in our hearts and celebrating the depths of his love for us as the incarnate Son of God and as the one who gave everything for all of us. So anyway, in relation to this new year, then I wish you all the blessings of joy, happiness, prosperity, good health, and everything that is wonderful in this new year. God bless you, and let's find ourselves together to the very end. God bless.